Hi everyone, welcome to our PTE Plus online lessons. Today, the topic of this lesson would be the question type introduction for writing dictation and the key information you must know. Arguably, writing dictation is the most important question in the entire listening section, and it is the last question of the exam. So, time management would be very vital for this section of the exam because in section 2, the questions are timed altogether. That means if we don't leave enough time for us to complete the questions, we might not be able to get to the question at all. So how important is this question type anyway? If we look at this comprehensive table, we can see that the total marks for this question would be the most compared to the others. And together with summarized spoken text, these two questions are the most heavily weighted questions in the entire listening section. And if we look at the score contributions to listening and writing, we can see that it accounts for almost 1/3 of the listening scores and about 1/5 of the writing scores. So that's quite a lot, actually. And if we calculate the total marks of every single questions in the entire listening section, we'll see that we have 4 major question types. The first 2 would be the aforementioned summarized spoken text, writing dictation, and the other 2 would be fill in the blanks and highlight incorrect words. It's not to say that the multiple choice questions are not important, but it's just they're not as heavily weighted as the 4 major question types. That means in the actual exam, we need to allocate our times more heavily towards the major question types instead of the multiple choices one. Now, let's have a look at what Pearson have to say if officially about this question type.
Write from dictation. For this item type, you hear a short sentence.
Final year business students have to write a 5,000-word essay.
Listen carefully and type the sentence into the response box at the bottom of the screen. Remember to check your spelling.
Right. So, it is clear from the introduction that we need to write down what we hear, right? It is important to note that we will get 3 to 4 questions in the exam. And there's this little question indicator on the top right corner. And there's this time indication where we can see the remaining time. And then we will have 7 seconds to prepare, and then after 7 seconds, the audio starts to play, and it only plays once. Usually, the number of words would be between 8 to 15 words, and the average word count would be around 10. And the audio plays pretty fast, and the speaker usually speaks very, very natively, meaning that he'll use a simulation, catenation, and all sorts of speaking techniques, right? So that it is important to nail our speaking section as well as practice our listening skills for different pronunciation and different accents. And the audio ends in about 5 seconds, so that's pretty fast for about 10 to 15 words. All the questions would be in one sentence, and you can only hear the audio once. After the audio plays, you can just type your answer in the text box, and it is important to know that you can copy and paste in this question type, and then after you're done, just click next to go to the next writing dictation question. After this question, the exam will end, and it is important to note that we must leave at least 1 minute per question because this question is weighted really, really heavily. Okay, that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you again on PTE Plus.